Good afternoon, students, and welcome to the Mavs Edge Student Intern panel. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Samriddhi Patil, and I am the Mavs Edge Program Facilitator at UTA's Career Development Center. I'm also joined today by David Powers. He's the Assistant Director of Internships at the Career Development Center. We are thrilled to have three outstanding students with us today who have agreed to share their internship experiences. And we are confident that the session will be valuable for all of you and to learn from their journeys, their insights, and tips on securing and making the most of the internship. So, before we dive in, let me briefly explain today's format to everyone present here. After hearing from and during the discussion of a panelist, you all students will have an opportunity to ask your questions. So when the time comes, please be prepared to turn on your camera and unmute your mic if you're comfortable, or if you prefer to feel free to send your questions in the chat and we can read them aloud and students can answer your questions. So let's start with the introduction of our panelists. Panelists, please introduce yourself by sharing your name, your major, current or previous internship role that you did, and what you aspire to do in the future. So Akshay, let's start with you.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akshay, and I'm majoring my master's in computer science degree. Currently, I'm in my third semester. Recently, I completed my internship at Amazon as a software development engineer intern, and it was a great experience working for Amazon and the variety of products that Amazon offers. I'm very glad to get an opportunity to share my experience over here.
Thank you, Akshay. That sounds amazing. I'm sure the audience will be learning a lot about your journey and your internship experience. Next, can we have Feras do his introduction?
Hi, everyone. My name is Feras Ahmad, currently studying aerospace engineering here at UTA. My previous internships at NASA consisted of 3 of them. So the first one was with Langley Research Center in Virginia, but that was a remote position. After that, I headed to Houston, Texas for NASA Johnson Space Center, where I interned twice. The first time was in fall 2023, and then this past summer. And in the future, I hope to actually work there full time at NASA Johnson Space Center, hopefully work as a flight controller and mission control and train astronauts. So I'm really excited to share my experiences with everybody today.
Thank you so much, Feras. It's really exciting to have someone with such a unique experience here this time on the panel. And last but not the least, let's start with Tasnim. We can start with your introduction.
Okay, hi guys. So I'm Tasnim Chowdhury, and I'm a senior year student at UTA. I'm studying information systems, and I'll be graduating in like 1.5 months. So pretty excited for that. So the idea of IT integration with business strategies has always interested me, and naturally I'm a curious person, and I always wanted to see how I will do in the situations where I know nothing about and I don't know anything to expect. I don't know what to expect. So this approach has helped me to get a number of internships at 5 different companies in 5 different roles, and I'm pretty excited to share the experience with you. And this approach has really helped me a lot to grow in professional life and personal life as well, and also helped me to secure a full-time role in one of the companies I interned at. So I'm pretty excited to be here and share my experiences with all of you.
Thank you, Tasneem. So Tasneem has also done an internship with Basey Insurance, and I just want to give out a quick shout out to Basey Insurance. They are one of our Mavs Edge partners, and they have been awesome in supporting our students by providing internship opportunities, and we are really grateful for that. So thanks, Basey Insurance, for helping our students get some real world experience. And now that we have gotten to know a little about each of you, let's move on to the main discussion for today. So I'll start by asking each of you to share more about your experience and the past role. So Akshay, let's start with you. So when and where did you intern, and what was your role? And can you explain, please describe how was your internship experience?
Yeah, so recently I interned at Amazon as an SD intern from the month of May to October 2024. So it was a 5 months internship period where I was working as a software development intern. So basically the project was a Gen AI based application. Nowadays, most of the applications are getting automated with the help of AI, and I was very lucky to get an opportunity to work on a similar kind of project where we were integrating AI features into application. Basically, the um, project was into Amazon logistics domain, where our end users were the truck carriers, and we were building an automated tool where which could replace the manual efforts of them using the AI. I was very lucky to work on trending technologies like generative AI, prompt engineering, all the AWS cloud services, and many other technologies. So it was a great experience working at Amazon, and also this was my first internship here in US. So working with a big name also comes with a lot of perks. So I really enjoyed working at Amazon, and I'll be open to share all the things later on as well.
That's awesome, Akshay. Definitely getting an internship in Amazon is a big milestone that we achieved. So thank you for sharing your experience. Feras, can you please go next?
Yeah, so my first NASA internship, as I said, it was a remote position with Langley Research Center in Virginia. And for that one, in summer 2023, I was a model-based systems engineering intern. So kind of making diagrams for drones and safety for drones. And so after that summer, I got an offer to work in Houston at NASA Johnson Space Center. And there I was a human performance engineering intern. Got to work on some spacesuit prototypes. It was a lot of biomedical stuff as well, which was kind of outside of my major, but I really enjoyed it. Um, and then this past summer, I was a systems engineering intern for a CubeSat, again at Johnson Space Center. And that time for this summer, I was a contractor instead. Um, and for most NASA internships, you're kind of assigned a project to work with a team or independently, or actually mostly both. You want to work by yourself and also with a team to ask questions. And then at the end of your term, you present your project to the rest of the team. And I really enjoyed it. NASA is so much fun, so I'm glad I'm here to share a lot about it. So.
Yes, we are glad to have you on this panel. Thank you so much. Tasneem, over to you.
Right, so I'll actually go in a chronological order. Like I'll start from the very beginning. So my first internship, and it was not just the first internship, it was my actually first work experience in my entire life. So it was a corporate internship at Tenet Healthcare, and I worked as an operations delivery intern over there. So you can imagine how scared I was at first. So the project that I worked in over there was about to rebuild the demand management system, which included me to clean up the outdated demand in the system and to make a prioritization system that will bring business value, because earlier that time it was all messy. So we had to like scrap that idea and rebuild the entire system, and to make sure the demands that we get, they have a business value so that the resources can get prioritized according to that. And apart from that project, I also had a lot of networking opportunities. And through those networking opportunities, I also got to work with two other departments as well, the cybersecurity department and vendor department. I got to assist them with their work. So, and that internship had a final presentation at the end of it, where I presented everything that I worked on, and I got an amazing response for that. So that was for summer 2023, and then comes fall 2023. In that time, I got a micro internship through Parker DeWay, where I worked as a business associate. So it was just for 2 months. It was like not a heavy work for me. So the main work that I did was to update the company information for the client that I was working on. It was a UK-based company. So I updated the company information in their HubSpot website, and also did platform analysis for the company so that they can have all the comparisons so for them to launch their product. So that was pretty much it for that. And then comes spring 2024, and that's that was a time where I worked at Basey Insurance as a data analytics intern. So my main project was for that internship was to get all the platforms where Basey was operating, where the company was operating the website. There were 3 websites and 3 social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So my project was to take all these platforms and to make an integrated dashboard, having all the platforms together to see how each of them is performing, so that my boss can understand what's going on and how can he improve his online presence over there. So it was a remote internship, but I did have an opportunity to meet with my boss and with the social media department as well, and it was interesting to see how our works align actually with the company and with the work that he's doing. So that I think that was pretty interesting. And then comes the summer 2024 internship. It was the big one for me, and I worked at a healthcare service corporation. Also, it also operates as the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas over here, and I worked there as an associate developer intern. It was a challenging one, and as I said, I love challenges and I love to be in a position where I don't know what I'm doing, where I don't know what to expect. When I got into this role, it made me realize, be careful what you wish for, because I faced a lot of obstacles over here. But again, I will walk you through all of that. So I worked on 3 projects, 3 big technical projects, and all of them were on a very different stage. So the first project was the IDE consolidation. It was on the end of the project. It was the end of the project. So what I basically did for the project was to make a comprehensive guide for Git integration with the IDEs, VS Code, and IntelliJ to walk all of them through how to use the integration. Then the next project, and this is a big project for the company. So this project was for the Java framework retirement. So the company had their own set of Java framework used in all the applications, but it was not maintained properly. So after a lot of years, there was a lot of security issues and high tech debt involved. So we had to get rid of that framework from all the applications that it was using. So my main work for that project was to support the offshore team who was doing the actual work for the framework remediation. So I helped that team with extracting the property files for different environments so that they can do the property migration. And I also handled the technical aspects in one of the handoff project to the product team, where we were handing over the remediated app code to the product team. So that was another big project that I was working on. And I was also a part, or as to say, exposed to another project as well. So the company was changing its cloud platform, and it was planning to migrate over 250 applications to that new platform. So it was on the starting stage. So all of that included was to educate every single department on how that new platform works. So I was a part of the workshops and the training as well. So yeah, so this was the 3 big projects that I was working on. And apart from the project, there was a lot of networking opportunities for me, a lot of events to meet a lot of new people, interns, the co-workers, the senior leaders, and the people in the executive position or leadership position. And the company has an amazing culture that really encourages the coffee chat. So I got the most out of it. I connected with 11 different people in different departments, and that also included the senior people, the senior executives as well. So it was interesting to know about their journey. And so one thing that I loved about all these meetings was that the people that I talked to, they were extremely busy. They had a lot of stuff going on already, but they never said no to have a chat with me or with any other interns. I mean, yes, the meetings got rescheduled a lot of times because there's always something or the other, but they never said no, even once. They never said that I don't have a time to talk to you or anything like that. So I think that was pretty amazing, and it really impressed me on how they are really involved in the internship program and how they wanted to get to know about us, about the work we are doing, about our plans, and they were always happy and helpful to guide us through everything. So that's a thing that I loved about the culture. And while being in that internship, I faced a lot of personal obstacles as well because I had to face the biggest fears of my life over there. So I had to overcome all of that. And I'm really happy that I had that opportunity. And there was a company where I'm going to go back after I graduate. So I'm pretty excited about that as well. And so this was summer 2024 and the last time, and I promise this is the last one. So this is the final internship that I'm doing as a project management intern in Queendom Art. And I'm part of two projects that are launching on the same day. So my main goal is to like make sure everything is going on time, and the people who are actually working on, they have all the resources they need to make the launch work. And sometimes there are always some changes or updates, so I update the schedules accordingly. And I manage the entire project management tool by myself as well. So that's what I'm doing. So yeah, it was 5 different companies, 5 different roles. It was a blast. It was amazing. I had a lot of I got a lot to learn, and I still have a long way to go, but I think it was like an amazing and crazy 1 year of my life. So I'm pretty excited, and I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to share that with you all.
Thank you, Tasneem. Those are truly very valuable insights.
Mhm.
And I just have one follow-up question for you. Like you mentioned, you did a micro internship. So can you quickly explain as to the students what's the difference between an internship and a micro internship you did?
So the micro internship is usually a very for a very short term at time. It's actually for like 20 hours in total, but it can like span on like for 1 or 2 months, but the hours will remain the same. It will be like 20 hours, but the reason that it gets spanned over a month because sometimes the companies that I got the client from a UK based company, so there was a time difference and there was also like the availability issues as well. So that's why it was like 2 months for me. But in reality, it's just a 20-hour internship. So it's just basically a real sneak peek into how a real internship looks like. So it was if internship is a movie, that's gonna be a teaser version. So if that makes it easier to understand.
Yes, that makes it clear. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tasneem. Thank you so much. Feras, we also know that you did an internships at other companies as well, University of Dallas and Jacob. So if you want to share their experience with us today.
Yeah, sure. The City of Dallas one was my first internship actually before I went to NASA. That was in fall 2021, I believe. And I got to take a lot of trips out to construction sites and work with contractors and make sure they're being safe while they're making construction for public works projects. And then Jacobs is actually a NASA contractor. So that's the contractor I worked with at NASA Johnson Space Center this past summer. So, and NASA has a lot of other contractors too, like KBR. And Jacobs just got bought out by a company called Momentum. So if you're interested in applying for those internships, you should check out Momentum. So
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for us. Akshay, would you like to add something about your previous experience before Amazon?
Yeah. So previously, before applying to Amazon, I had worked as a software developer for 2 years. The experience at Amazon was quite different from working in the last organization, because in the last organization was a startup, and this is Amazon was the biggest MNC. So you see a lot of difference in terms of technologies that they use. Amazon had their own products, and you get 1 month of 1 month of training to understand their product, their working style. And Amazon has a very fast-paced working style because you are always surrounded with smart people, and all the software engineering courses, or all the methodologies that we learn in our day-to-day life as a as a computer science grad student. Amazon does follows all of them, to be honest. So understanding their methodology of working was very interesting. each one of them had different projects, and there there was a uh, there was a place where you need to put in right from the scratch. You need to design all the things. You need to put in all your efforts, and then you have to pitch in that design idea to a team members, and then you get the green signal to go ahead and do the work on that. That's a typical process, but Amazon follows it truly, and that's how the things were. So quite different from the previous experience. Here we got to know about how software engineering things are really applied in real life, and that's the reason, because that's the reason Amazon has a lot of products, and the engineering team, even after working remotely, they collaborate really good.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much, Akshay, for that. So Akshay, we can continue that question. Like, how did you find an internship? What was your search process? How did you start did the applications? What was the interview process with Amazon? Can you please tell more about that?
Yeah. So before coming to US, I had knew about the situation that US market had because of the corona. So a lot of job markets were almost not so good, not so good. Even right now, they are facing the consequences of post corona, and the job market isn't that open. So I was well prepared before coming to my masters about applying to the jobs. So from day one, I started applying to the jobs, and then it's just that you apply to the jobs early and you get it and get a breakthrough. You just wait for that position, and you get the breakthrough. So that's what happened to me. I started applying for jobs in the month of August, and then um, in the month of October, I got an assessment from Amazon, which I failed initially, and then later I got another assessment in the month of February, which I passed. So the the overall process is like you get an assessment, and then the next round is a technical round, which is being conducted by a technical product manager, where you are given an opportunity to live code on a platform called Live Code, where the technical product manager pays some questions, some kind of lead code, easy or medium type of questions, where uh, you have 45 minutes of timeline to solve that question. So it was purely technical. Also, Amazon also, has their set of leadership principles. So every company would judge you on behavioral skills. So Amazon's specifically judges you on their technical leadership principles. So they have 14 leadership principles um, on which they try to match the candidate with. So um, after the technical part of interview, I had a behavioral kind of thing. So it was continued in the same process. And after that technical interview, there was an HR call uh, for the salary negotiation and all those process. And then the offer letter was released. So it's a quite straightforward process, three-step process. You give the assessment, give the technical interview, behavioral interview, and you get the offer letter.
That's awesome. And if I may ask, how many applications you did before getting this one internship at Amazon? Because students will be inspired listening to that.
Yeah, because coming from an international background and looking at the opportunities that US has to offer, not a lot of companies sponsor H-1B, so they don't tend to hire interns who might not get converted into a full-time role, and they need to have, if they are not sponsoring the H-1B, they don't get the job. So it's quite difficult in this scenario to get a job. And then before getting into Amazon, I had a couple of interviews, which went really well. So I was about to expect that I'm going to get an offer letter, but that didn't happen because of the international status. So it's quite a varied experience. I applied to almost 600 internship in the last 6 months. So right from August to the month of May, so 600, 700 applications. And then among that 600, 700 application, I just got around like 10 interviews, and I was able to crack 2 offers, but Amazon was the better one.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's a lot of applications that you need to do. But it's really important for students to understand that it's going to take a lot to get an internship. So don't give up. That's what. Okay, perfect. So Feras, can you please tell us about how was your experience of finding an internship? What was the application and the interview process like?
Yeah, sure. I know I've always wanted to work at NASA. I don't know a lot of other people as well, but I always knew it was also competitive to get into their internship programs. So I applied like 100 times to NASA and like a couple hundred other times to other aerospace companies before getting my first offer. Um, and so for like government positions or civil servant positions, and also including their Pathways program, which is like a civil servant co-op that converts into full-time when you finish it. For those, they want you to use like a USA Jobs, like a civil servant resume. And then for the regular internships, like the single term internships, the STEM Gateway, which is on their all these internship programs are on their internship website. For those, they want you to use like a single page industry resume. Um, and so the interviews for NASA are almost completely behavioral. There's like no technical part of the interviews for most of them, and that's kind of just to see how well you communicate and how well you work in a team and see how you fit with the team. So yeah, that's how the interviews and application process is for NASA.
Okay, that's nice. And what about the previous two internships that you interned for? Was the application process similar, or was it different?
Yeah, for Jacobs, they also do the same. They wanna it's a behavioral interview. And then they also use a one-page resume. And then for the city of Dallas, it's also a behavioral interview.
And did you have a cover letter template that you applied to those internships when you applied for NASA or Jacobs or City of Dallas?
Yeah, I always attach a cover letter or I know for NASA's STEM Gateway internships, they have like a box where it's optional and you can write why you really want the NASA internship, but I always recommend to write something because it's much better than not writing something and it leaves an impression on the employer.
That's correct. Thank you, Feras. Tasneem, can you please tell us about your, how did you do the application? What was the interview process like?
Right. So, as I said, the first internship that I got, that was my like real life job experience, my first ever job experience. So before that, I had nothing. So my resume was blank, entirely blank. And I remember coming to the career center to help me out with the with how do I build the resume and everything. So so career center really helped me a lot. First of all, to make a strong resume for myself, and for the job application. And so for the job application, I did not want to limit myself into any specific role. And as David also said to me, that I'm just someone who will just dive into the role if I get the opportunity. So that's what I actually did. So whenever I see in the job description that someone pursuing information system, they can apply, I applied to all of them. And since I was like more interested in the technical role, so I stuck to that, but I did not limit myself into any specific role that I want to be a data analytics or I just want to be on the software development or anything. I applied everywhere, like in every single industry, everywhere. I lost count on how many applications I did actually. It will be like in hundreds, of course, but I actually lost count because it was a lot. And of course, the number of rejections that I got, I also lost count of that because it was like an everyday part of life. It became an everyday part of life that I will get an unfortunately reply. So that happened as well. So I applied for months, and then LinkedIn really helped me, I'll say. Like one of the roles, that the first role that I got, it was not like technically so heavy. So it actually worked in my favor. And they just had an interview with me. They looked at my grades. I had a good grade, so that was my plus point at that time. With no experience, I had high grades, so that was my plus point. So I had the interview. I was pretty nervous because I don't know how an interview process works. That was my first time as well. So I was pretty nervous. And when the question asked that, why do you want this opportunity? I was just honest that I need this opportunity because I need a platform to learn and I want to contribute to the organization as well. I was like blatantly honest about that. And I also made sure that I will do whatever it takes to learn the work in a short time because I know I can do that. If I like give myself a week or two, I know I can like pull off the technical parts. But I'll just need the opportunity. I'll just need a chance. And I was honest about it. So that's how I got my first internship. So for the application process, I mean, it really depends on the luck and you have to like apply a lot. You will have to like maintain a pattern, maintain a routine. You cannot be lazy. You cannot lay back and apply as soon as possible. Do not delay and make sure, I mean, since there's this ATS system as well, so make sure to visit Career Center and make sure the resume is formatted according to the ATS part as well. So I went to Career Center a lot. I mean, I think everybody remembered my face by the end of the time. So, and for the interview process, I tried a lot of stuff for that. I tried following a script. I literally had a paper in front of me while I was doing a video screening. But what worked for me was when I was completely honest with my answers. I have stammering issues, so it's really difficult for me to not follow a script. And if I like speak from my heart, I will definitely stammer like I'm doing right now. But this really works. If you're honest, they will see that. And in every interview question, make sure you give the message that even though you don't know certain stuff, even if you don't know the technical parts, you're willing to learn that, you're willing to give that effort. So that's a very important thing to do. And I will quote one of the mentors from the previous internship, the summer internship, and he said a very wonderful thing to me. When I was struggling with getting along with the technical parts, he just said that with the technical skills, it's easier to learn. If you can just look up any courses or YouTube videos, you can easily get a hang of it. But it's really important for a person to be teachable. If that's not there, then there's no point. And he saw that I was putting a lot of effort, even though I did not know a lot of stuff. So he really appreciated that. So if you can put across that message that you are willing to do whatever it takes, you are willing to get out of your comfort zone and do your best, it really helps you stand out. It really helps. And for the interview process, make sure to ask questions at the end when they ask that, do you have any questions? Take some interest in the company or in the interview as well, that how did you get here? What helped you? Take an interest in their roles as well. So that also really helped me. Because I remember for this internship, my technical part was pretty bad because I panicked really hard because I thought I'll just have to code, I'll just have to write, but I actually have to talk to the person. I was not expecting that, so it really threw me off and my technical part went really bad, but I gave my best in the behavioral interview and that helps me. That was a game changer for me. So you have to be honest.
Yes, that's some excellent insights, Tasnim. Yeah. And by the way, you're doing great today. So thank you so much. And so we'll take a quick pause to see if any students have some questions so far. So students, if you have any question, please introduce yourself. If you're comfortable, please turn on your camera and turn on your mic and ask a question. If you want, you can also put up the question in chats if that's more comfortable. And make sure you raise your hand before you do that. So students, is there any question? Okay, I see one hand raised. I'm sorry, I'm unable to see the name. Please unmute yourself and introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, I'm Niveta. Hi, everyone. I just had a question when Feras told about while applying, there will be a blank space for us to write something for the recruiter. So, what kind of message did you write in the application, and did you take time to do it for every application? I know it's a tedious process, and when I do that, it's time consuming. And then when the next time the pop up message comes, I just submit it without doing it. But I appreciate that you mentioned that we have to put a message to the recruiter that will stand out. So I want to ask, what was the message and how did you write it?
Yeah, of course. So kind of as Tasnim said, you just want to be honest. That's one of the most important things. And then another thing is relating that position to your experiences. Like for example, if it's an opening that has to do with 3D printing, you want to talk about your experiences with 3D printing and manufacturing maybe. So I think after I started kind of being honest and also relating, the position to my experiences a lot, I saw much more interviews and offers come through. So, and I would always say to do those because maybe it takes like, 10 to 20 minutes of your time, but I think those 10 to 20 minutes are going to be worth it. So definitely make sure you do those.
Thank you. And the question for Akshay, and Akshay, are you graduating in May 25?
Yeah, I'm graduating in
Okay,
May.
so can I ask what are the plans for you for the full-time job? How are you preparing and what are you going through? Just let me know the process.
Yeah. And also continuing on the last question, so what I used to do is whenever I had such kind of questions where you have to fill in why do you really want to apply for the specific company, I used to go through the company's website, know their mission and values, and try to plug in some points from the mission and values and that match to your experience. So make out a story, something that also includes their values along with you. So that would really help you stand out of the thing. Coming about the planning that I'm doing for getting the full-time applications is the same process that I did for the internship. So it's a continuous process that Tasnim said. So you have to continue apply for a number of applications that are being posted. So it's a tedious process, I know, but I'm using multiple tools like Simplify and many other tools. So Simplify really helps you to automate the process. You just have to wait in the page, and it will automatically fill in all your details in the application. So it reduced my application timing. So previously I used to fill in all the information and then it used to take me around 30 to 40 minutes. And now it takes 10 to 20 minutes for applying 10-20 companies a day or something like that. And I can do it on a go. So keep an eye on such kind of tools which will help you automate the process to be much faster in this space. Along with that, I have a detailed plan about what all tools and technologies that I want to master into. So UTA does provide a lot of free courses on Coursera. So you can do some kind of premium courses, which are really expensive if you go outside. So UTA provides that free of cost, and you can use that for doing some professional courses, because in the month of December and January, most of the companies don't hire. So generally most of the employees are also on break, so you can use this time for upskilling yourself. Uh, plan plan in such a way that target specific roles. So if you are really good into software engineering, so you can apply for multiple roles like front end, back end, database, and all of the open positions that are available around software engineering. So that's what I am doing right now. And after this panel, I'll also share all the resources that I am really using in the mail chain.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
That would be really great of you, Akshay. Thank you for sharing those insights. Do we have any more questions from students? Okay, I don't see any hands, so let's move on to our third question. Tasneem, we can start with you again. So, what skill sets do you think you have developed from your internship experience?
So a number of technical skills, as I said, I won't say I did not learn anything. At UTA, I did. I learned a lot, like a lot of basic stuff. But when I actually started working in different companies and different internships, I got exposed to a lot of advanced stuff that really helped me to build my skill set. So what I learned is the version controls and how they work in the enterprise setting. I got to know about the cloud platforms and the PCF to ARO migration that I mentioned already. So I got to learn about the ARO platforms, OpenShift, the Kubernetes as well, the containerized platform as well, and I got to learn about ServiceNow, the data visualization tools like Tableau, Power BI, through Basey Insurance. And then now I'm working as a project manager, so I'm learning to use the project management tools as well because I'm actually managing that for my company. So this is all sorts of technical skills, but for me, what really stands out is how I grew as a person. So I used to be very scared around people. I used to run away. Whenever I see more than 5 or 6 people, I will run away from that spot right then and there. Because I used to get scared a lot. So I worked on that during all those internships. I really worked on that. I did networking. I talked to people. I overcame that fear. I worked with that fear sometimes, and I was honest about it, as I said, but I also made sure to learn about it. And in the companies that I work in, they had an amazing community. They're pretty helpful, so they also helped me a lot on many cases. So that was the biggest getaway, and also the presentation skills. I'm not very good when it comes to public speaking, so that's also a big thing that I learned from there. And especially in these 2 corporate internships that I did, they had presentations at the end. So I practiced a lot just to get it right, just to make sure I get the presentation goes well. And for the last internship, the last summer internship, it was a big thing for me because the executives, the leadership position people, they were seeing that as well, and they had a final say about my return offer as well. So it was really pressurizing, and it was a do or die for me. So I practiced a lot. I had a mentor with me, so I practiced with that mentor a lot. I practiced with my manager as well. I practiced with HR. So it was just practice, 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 and then it went really well, and I had an amazing response from everyone. So yeah, so that was the biggest getaway and the fears that I had to overcome. So that was another part.
That's awesome. Thank you, Tasnim. Feras, over to you.
Yeah, through my internships, I learned a lot of technical skills like softwares, especially the ones used in aerospace industry, such as Magic Draw and Creo. And every time I would pick up a new software, it was really hard for me to grasp it, even if I've used a similar software to it at school. So I think a really important thing when you're learning those technical skills is to always ask questions. I mean, that's one of the biggest, tips I can give about internships is interns are meant to ask a lot of questions. So initially I was scared to ask questions and I thought I was being annoying, but when you ask those questions and smart questions, everybody's, open to help. So through asking a lot of questions, I learned a lot of technical skills through my internships, and it helped me put those softwares and skills on my resume now. So
Yeah, that's true, Feras. Even asking questions makes you understand if you're doing things in the right direction. If not, people are always going to help you. So that's an awesome tip. Thank you so much. Akshay, how about you? What were the skills that you developed?
Yeah, so at Amazon, apart from the technical skills, you get a lot of experience about how to design a software end to end, how to plan on designing the architecture of a software, how to plan on considering alternate approaches, and then presenting it to the team members. One more thing that I did during my internship was I always um, uh, I used to do the code reviews with my team members, so that made my team feel that I was always included in their work as well. So usually what software developers do is they pick up the task and continue to do their work. So the only chance of gathering is the sprint planning or the sprint meeting or the scrum calls. But apart from that, you also need to be very active in the code reviews, so that they also understand that you are an active part of the team and you are really interested in the team and the other projects that are involved in the team as well. So I used to be very active during the code reviews, a lot of technical skills. But the internship is not only learning a lot of things, but it's a kind of experience that you get. So I really enjoyed working at Amazon, the perks that Amazon gave. So they had a policy of bringing back their employees by giving a Starbucks coffee free of cost. So those are the small things that you really enjoy on a day-to-day life. Also, they used to do free ride shares. So whenever an employee wanted to go out, or whenever he wanted to travel a day off, 2 days off from a month, they used to give free rides to those employees. And you enjoy all those things. So it's quite a learning experience. Along with the technical skills, I learned a lot about other things as well.
That's awesome. Thank you, Akshay. We are at a last question for today. So Tasneem, what's the one best piece of advice that you would give to a student who is currently seeking an internship?
So your first advice would be don't give up. Have some patience with the application process, because it's a lot of work. I know it's really tiring, and seeing all those rejection emails, you tend to get demotivated. I understand all of that, but you have to like keep on going. You have to like make sure to tailor your resume according to each job description, and make sure to add cover letters, whether they ask for it or not, but make sure to add the cover letter. And another important advice would be, I mean, I understand for the international students, it's really tough to get the internships and everything. I know it's a challenge, but let me tell you one thing, it's not impossible, because I'm a resident and I lost to an international student. I lost two positions to an international student. It happened twice with me. So I know it's tough, but it's not impossible. So just remember that, because the reason I'm saying this, because my friends, they know I'm a resident. They're always like, you are a resident, it's so easy for you to get internships. No, it's not. It was not easy. I lost to international students as well. So if you're that great, if you have potential, first of all, you will have your chance. So believe in yourself, and yeah, you all got this. You guys are intelligent, I'm pretty sure. So all the best.
Great points, Tasneem. Thank you, Feras. Can you please tell us what's the one best piece of advice?
Yeah, I definitely agree with, never give up while applying. Took me hundreds of applications. And eventually I got to my dream internship. So, just keep pushing for it. Another thing is even if you get an internship that's not related to your major or your interests, I would suggest looking into taking it, because my first internship was related to civil engineering, and I'm studying aerospace. So even though I'm studying aerospace engineering, it really helped me get a lot of engineering experience and working with a team. So I definitely recommend looking into that. And then another thing is I would try to find people who are doing what you want to do in your future, and reaching out to them. So I think building a network of people who do what you want to do is very important, and they can also tell you how they got to where they are in the industry. I used to be scared of reaching out to people on LinkedIn or other websites, but eventually I learned how to do it, and because of that, I even got to meet astronauts at NASA by just reaching out to them. So. Uh, it's a really good skill to have, networking. So I would definitely recommend that.
So true. Thank you. Thank you, Feras. I'm going to modify a question a bit for you, Akshay. So, can you please address this question, taking into consideration the international crowd we have, the international students? I know most of the students might have the question, what do you take when it says, do you need a sponsorship? Do you pick yes? Do you pick no? How does it? So, what is your approach, and what is the one piece of advice that you will give for students, for especially for the international students?
Yeah. So coming from the same background, I feel that you should always answer that question as no. You do not need a sponsorship for doing the internships. And second thing is you can work on OPT for 3 years if you are in a STEM course. So always answer those questions as no. Second thing is you should always be enthusiastic about some companies. So I had a wish list of companies which I used to always apply through their career site. So that included FANG, MANG, and other top level companies which I was very enthusiastic to work with. So I had a different list of companies which I used to keep an eye on their career site. Application is a daily process, so you should keep on applying. Rejection is just a part of it. So what I feel is first thing to get through the application process is to have a good resume, which is ATS friendly. So mostly I'd suggest going to career center, getting the resume tailored in a way that gets at least cleared from the ATS thing, because most of the employers don't even look at the resume. It is been tailored by the ATS thing. So having a good resume, error-free resume, will make you stand out from a lot of other students. Second thing is keep on applying to a lot of jobs that are available. So it's a spectrum of domains. So just as I said, if you are a software engineer and if you want to work as a software engineer, you keep on applying for all the job roles around software engineer. So that include front end, back end, full stack, database, and all of the roles that revolve around software engineering, and get as many experience as you can. um, Network to a lot of people, ask for referrals. Many of the times when you connect to senior managers, they do give you referrals. So it's just a matter of fact that you need to go out, outreach them, and then just out of your boundary you just have to text them for a referral. So everyone does that, and I would recommend to do that as well.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Akshay. We are now going to turn to the questions from the audience. So, audiences, if you have any question, please feel to turn on your camera and unmute your mic, or or raise your hand and put your question in chat, so we can take a few questions.
Hello guys, this is Pratiksha. Um, I have a question for all of you. The question is, if someone comes with an certain experience, so would that be an advantage or disadvantage? And specifically, if they are trying to switch into a new role other than which they have an experience. If yes, then how should they tailor their CV? I mean, if you have any idea.
Yeah, Akshay, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I can go first. So I too had 2 years of experience back in India, and I can relate to this scenario where if you have experience during the interview time, you have something to speak up. So you eventually have a lot of things that you can share to an interviewer, and that's the only experience. That's the only advantage that I feel. Uh, the interns, the other colleague of mine while doing the internship, were all the bachelor's guys. So it doesn't make any difference between a master's guys or a person who is experienced and a person who is just doing their first internship. So uh, US has all the equal opportunities. The only thing would stand out is you have better experience while talking to an interviewer. You have multiple experiences, and that would really help you. And even for asking referrals, you have a certain kind of experience. So the referral thing would also help you a lot. So that's the only thing that can help.
Thank you, Akshay. Thank you. But do we need to like mention our bachelor's projects as well? Because since we have experience that we can put it into and then our master's projects, but does it require to add on the bachelor's projects as well?
Yeah, that's a really great point, because what I think is most of the MNC companies don't look at your GitHub, but small scale companies like startup and the mid scale companies, recruiters do look at your portfolio as well as the GitHub repository. So keeping it active is really helpful. Keep on posting some kind of project. So mostly the projects that I used to post is the assignments and the college project that I used to do. So whether doing a project into a distributed system domain or any software engineering project, end-to-end project. So keep your GitHub really active. A lot of recruiters do look at your GitHub repo.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Akshay. I think Tasnim, you wanted to answer that question too.
Yeah, so like adding to what Akshay said, and for the question as well, one of the greatest advice that I got from one of my senior colleagues back at HCSC is that no matter what your experiences were, whether they are related to your current role or the role you're going next for or not, they will always come in handy, no matter what. So, of course, your experience do matter in whatever you are going to do next. So what you can do is to have that experience and make it somehow transferable when you tailor your resume. So that's what you can do. And also, like as someone who had multiple roles, like different roles which are not really related to one another. So that's what I did as well personally. So if you can have that transferable skills, and if you can portray that way in your resume, that will really be helpful. And as Akshay said, that once you have experience, you have something to talk about with your interviewer as well, so you can tailor your answers accordingly as well. So during interview, there were a lot of times where I was asked particular questions where I did not have any direct experience with, but I used the previous experiences and I said that, but I faced this and this is how I dealt with that. So it's a really good thing that if you have a diverse set of skills, I know it can be confusing, and I was insecure as well when I had different sort of roles, because people around me, they had a similar track, a similar role, and they were like pretty decided on what they wanted to do, but it was not for my case. So I had different set of opportunities, and my mentor said that's a good thing. That's your biggest advantage, that you have different skills. And in the recent workforce, that is actually appreciated, that if you have different experience, that means you can learn things quickly, that you can adapt to things quickly, you can adapt to situations quickly. So it's a great advantage. So you can, of course, use that for yourself.
Thank you, Tasneem. Feras, do you have anything to add to this?
Not much, but I completely agree with Tasneem and Akshay. Like, if you're applying to a job and you don't have certain experience in that job, I would just try to tailor it using as many relevant experiences. So yeah, that's definitely what I've done in the past.
Thank you. I think we will be we will not be taking any more questions. That's and we are at 3 o'clock already. So thank you everyone for attending to today's student intern panel. A special thank you to our panelists, Akshay, Feraz, and Tasneem. You all have been great, and thank you for taking the time to share your valuable experiences with us. And I also thank you, David, for joining us today. We have some posts in the comment section. You can check out that too. There are LinkedIn profiles for all of our panelists attached in the comment section. So if you have any kind of questions, you can reach out to them, or you can also feel free to reach out to the Career Development Center if you need any other further support. So that's it for today, and best of luck with all of your rest of your semester. And thank you again, all of us, for joining us today, and hope you have a great semester. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David and Samruddhi, for this opportunity. And I was pretty nervous about this, and I told David that multiple times, but I'm really happy that I did this. I'm really happy. So thank you so much for inviting me.
And you did great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, congratulations, students. It's a fantastic panel. Thank you for sharing your time. Great experiences. Good luck with the full-time search.
You got this, guys. Just trust in yourself.
Thank you.